the Roots of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 81 of the Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you stay. All you have to do is follow us on our social media platforms and also follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast, be it Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts. Make sure that you subscribe so that you always know when a new episode is here. To my loyal listeners, thank you once again for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to have you. My guest today is Tracy Vongai Mapfumo, a passion-driven entrepreneur, food innovator, crop scientist, and the founder of Any Streets Private Limited. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science honors degree in agricultural plant sciences at the University of KwaZulu Natal in 2015. Tracy has 5 years work experience in indigenous plants that have commercial value. She has always had an aspiration to see Zimbabwean food be transformed into competitive products on the market. Any Streets, which was named after Tracy's late mother, who nurtured her entrepreneurial skills, was founded in 2018. It specializes in healthy snacks targeting the upmarket, health-conscious consumers. Snacks are a variety of seed bars, balls, and seed butter. Key ingredients are sourced from local, rural, small-scale farmers and producers. Any Streets partnered with the Zimbabwe Resilience Building Fund in training rural and youth on value addition of natural food resources. Tracy is a multi-award winning up-and-coming entrepreneur, and in this episode we hear how she got into this field and also how she used her creativity and, to think outside of the science box. Let's take a listen to hear about all of this and so much more. Let's go. Hi Tracy, welcome to the show.
Hi Anne, thank you very much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And here in South Africa, it is Women's Day. So I'm really excited to chat with you today. It's Women's Day, Women's Month. Yeah, so I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Me too, hey, and happy Women's Day or happy Women's Month to you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And same to you. Now, to get things started, Tracy, I think it's best for us to get a little introduction. So who is Tracy? Where are you originally from? What are you currently doing? Just in brief before we get into the rest of the show.
Tracy is a 29-year-old lady, a Zimbabwean, born and bred in Mashonaland Central Province of Zimbabwe. I'm a plant scientist and a researcher, part-time researcher. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm the founder and managing director of Any Streets Private Limited. Yes, that's about Tracy. So I'm not just an entrepreneur. I'm a passion-driven entrepreneur. Yeah, that makes a difference.
Yes, I love that. Passion-driven entrepreneur. Oh, man, that's fantastic. And we're going to get to hear about this just now. But, we have to get to the beginning, right? Let's backtrack it. You are a super combo, like you introduced yourself. You are a plant scientist and an entrepreneur. So you've got that academic or research side and this entrepreneurship side. So for those of us who are wondering, how did it get started? What was the root of the science? What was the root of your story? I could also say the science too, actually.
Science, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Actually.
So, let us know. What was it for you?
Okay. I'd say my journey began when I was at UKZN, where I started a BSc in agriculture, plant science, majoring in plant science. So that exposed me to the opportunities that are available in agriculture, because we would go out, I think, on a weekly basis for field trips. We visited plantations, factories, farms, nurseries. So to me, it's just opened my eyes to the business side of things, that it doesn't have to just end at science, but it can also include a business. And after college, I also joined a research organization as a volunteer, but then I became a researcher at that organization. And again, I was traveling around Zimbabwe and meeting smallholder farmers and what they're doing, what they can do, especially in terms of crop production in the driest regions of Zimbabwe. So again, that made me think that you can develop something, or you can establish a business that incorporates the scientific skills that you have gained. Yeah, so that was actually what influenced me to be that combo, an entrepreneur and a scientist.
Oh. Wow. Okay. So it only started when you were in university and post education. So, okay, then I'm quite interested. What did young Tracy actually want to be? Then what was the vision for yourself when you were younger?
Actually, I was even talking about it, that I wanted to be successful. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
And I could see myself on a podium talking to people, influencing people, impacting people. But I really did not know exactly what I wanted until I finished my A-levels. And I did not manage to pursue chemistry. So I was majoring in math and biology and geography. So I needed the chemistry to do what I thought I wanted, which was radiography. So I didn't have that. And then I thought, let me just have agriculture as one of my options when I applied for my bachelor's. And surprisingly, I was offered agriculture and I fell in love with it at the very beginning. And I realized was my passion. Yeah.
That's so fantastic. I love how you say that in your vision, you just knew you were going to be successful. Like, it didn't matter how you got there.
How? Exactly.
As long as you arrived at that point. And it gave me goosebumps that you had this vivid imagination. And I think, sometimes many of us, or maybe some of us rather, have that vision and you see it. But I don't know, sometimes life, happens. So I love how for you... Yeah, I love how for you, even though life did try and happen, not getting what you thought you wanted, but you kind of made it work, which is so fundamentally amazing. So do you think for you, having that vision really kind of set the tone and sort of taking on what life might have thrown along the way to kind of sort of distract you from your vision?
Yes, it did. Because I have always set standards for myself. When I was in high school, even college, it didn't matter what others were pursuing. So I remember in my second year, and people were saying, you know what, the pressure is getting too much. We just want to pass and move forward. In my head, I was thinking, I need distinctions. I need the certificate of merit. So I would just set targets and standards for myself because I knew where I wanted to be. So even when I joined the local or research organization, every task I was given, I made sure I did it. I still do that. I did it with excellence. So it's all about the targets I set for myself. So that vision really helped me to become who I am today, and it's actually helping me to becoming the person that I think I will be in the future.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. And yeah, you can hear it in your voice even as you speak. I mean, technically you are doing that. I mean, yeah, we get a nice audience here as well. So you are speaking, and I'm sure when the world opens up and you can have these talks with people on that podium, and you'll actually get to live your goal. And I'm
to
sure
live the dream.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. So you're actually creating an environment for me to flourish.
Anytime, girl, anytime. That's how I'm around. Don't worry. Give it 5 or 10 years. We'll do this on like a real podium. I'll bring you back when you are a mogul, business mogul, and we can like redo this, but with people. Like
do this again. Thanks for that.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Tracy, you mentioned when we were talking about your time at university that when you went on field trips, or even when you were doing your research work, when you were traveling around university, that you were exposed. But my question for you is, although these field trips happen and many students sort of go through this process, I was also an agriculture student at undergrad. Do you think they actually prepare us to go into entrepreneurship? Like, as much as we get to see, but are we fully prepared to be like, okay, let's go out and become entrepreneurs, like how it happened for you? Or did you have to do more to sort of get better in that field?
Yes, I would say that it does prepare us to be entrepreneurs. But if you really remember, when we were doing these field trips, it was just for the sake of us to get exposed, and we wouldn't really have an exam on what happened on the field trip. And so you're just out there and thinking, okay, it's part of the module of the course. So partly it really helps. But in my case, I had to go an extra mile after college. When I founded my business, I had to participate in programs that support entrepreneurs. I was fortunate enough to be part of this program called Fem Bio Bees, which is specifically for female bioscientists who are in business, because they know you're a scientist and you're clueless on how to run a business. So that was quite an intense program, which I needed to at least have the basic knowledge on how to run a business. So I've had the opportunity to participate in several of those. And most of them I had to pitch, so I had to build my confidence in as far as business is concerned. So I can say that our tertiary institutions can go an extra mile in introducing science-based entrepreneurship courses or modules, where you actually have the mandate to study, to go through the very important components of entrepreneurship as a scientist, or even to create innovation hubs, or a certain hub where after your research or your scientific investigations, findings, or your ideas, you can spin it off into a business. And if you can't do it as an individual, as the researcher, there's an opportunity for you to even sell your ideas to companies or other entrepreneurs or skilled business people who are willing to take it off. Yeah, that's what I think can be done to enhance that.
Yeah, of course. I fully agree with you that I think, like you said, that extra sort of step. But it's really great that you took it upon yourself to equip yourself and to learn these basic skills, because I mean, here you are today. So you are the founder of a wonderful business called Any's Treats. Okay, so can you take us on a journey on how and why you started this?
Okay. I founded Any's Treats in October 2018, and I named it Any, even though I'm Tracy. People are always saying, why is it not Tracy's Treats? I named it after my late mom. I lost her just before I graduated. So I thought I owe it to her to let her legacy keep going on. So my mom was Any. She nurtured my skills. She taught me to work hard. So Any's Treats specializes in seed-based snacks, which are gluten and nut-free. So by snacks, I just mean a range of energy bars, energy balls, seed butter, and we source some main ingredients or our key ingredients from small-scale farmers in Zimbabwe, small-scale producers. And we target upmarket, urban health conscious consumers. And these could be people with gluten intolerance, celiac disease, nut allergies, or just diet enthusiasts, fitness enthusiasts. So currently we are selling through specialty shops in the major cities of Zimbabwe. And we are a team of 5, supported by 30 supply chains. So meaning our various ingredients come from different small-scale producers in Zimbabwe. Yeah, so that's about Any's Treats. And the reason I started this was come up with an innovative product which people can conveniently consume. So it's a grab and go snack that you can have, but it's quite nutritious, highly nutritious. So it will help you to eat the healthy snacks rather than some other stuff that you might not really need. So we also work with fitness people. We're working with some gyms and everything. And that's the main reason, just to influence, because what we eat influences our well-being and our health, and also to create a market to generate income for small-scale farmers, because they cannot grow the commercial or cash crops that thrive in other regions, because these are located in the driest parts of Zimbabwe. So by developing a product, we're increasing the demand of their key ingredients. For example, sesame seed. The value chain for sesame seed was almost dead or extinct, but now it's being revived. And some parts of our key ingredients also, like honey. These are natural sweeteners which we use, and beekeepers, so all that, it's to create demand for the product that they have. So that's basically what Any Street is doing. And in addition to just products, direct sales of our product, we also realized a new revenue stream where we partner with organizations that train women, rural women and youth, to add value to their natural resources. So recently, a week ago, we launched the very first cooperative for rural women who will be making snacks from marula nuts. You know marula fruit, which makes amarula?
Yes.
So the nuts, it is kernels inside, just like your almonds. So they crack that, and we have helped them to develop various snacks which they can sell.
Wow. I'm so mind blown by everything that you do. That is so amazing. What fantastic work that you're doing. I loved how you are incorporating the people in the, for example, in the rural areas or the small scale farmers, and your more high end people. Market which two groups of people which you'd think, they don't really interconnect, but these people, the way that you've done it, this vision of yours, it's absolutely brilliant. And I mean, so many people are health conscious now, and they want to find yummy ways of staying fit and healthy, and like you said, all of these other medical reasons as well, which, what a fantastic idea. Oh my goodness. Wow, really, congratulations on that. So when did it exactly start? Which year?
In October 2018. That's when I made the very first batch of my energy bars, and it was still a home-based business. But now we work at an industrial site, and back then it was just myself doing anything and everything. But now I've got a team. Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you about starting from scratch and just building up, this is so inspiring. I hope somebody is as inspired as I am. So I'm assuming now,
thank you.
We've spoken about how we've given context rather of how you started in 2018 in your home, making it by yourself and you being the sole person, to where you are now with 5 other people, industrial size, etc. However, I know, because we said this earlier in the beginning, that this is not your vision, right? It's bigger than this. So I just wanted to ask you, what is the long-term vision for your countries, and which other countries do you aspire to, sort of establish your presence in?
Okay. I'm glad that you now sort of understand my vision and you can actually visualize it. So I believe that the more we expand, the more people we can bring in, the more we can actually take part in ending the cycle of poverty by creating jobs, creating income for small-scale producers or farmers. So the vision is to go beyond Zimbabwe, beyond Africa. In Southern Africa, I've had the opportunity to actually participate in a program where It's called Eagle's Nest, and it was focusing on export-oriented, youth-owned businesses. And I had the opportunity to actually understand how export market research is done. So if we are to look at Southern Africa, South Africa, Zambia, and Namibia are our targets so far. So we're still working on increasing our capacity and actually have the export standards, packaging and product, standardizing our products, so we can also reach out to South Africa, Namibia, and Zambia. And beyond Africa, we're targeting European countries where most of the products like ours are consumed, and that is Finland, the Netherlands, and Sweden. Of course, we'll grow beyond what I've mentioned, but these are actually the target markets at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. I love your vision. I love how it's so much bigger than, just Zimbabwe or just your room. And that's so brave. I want to ask you, though, does it not scare you sometimes? This is more of like a personal question, actually, more than anything.
I know.
But
I know.
Does it not scare you having this big vision?
Yeah, it does. And I read somewhere that when you're young, the advantage is you don't know much of the risks. It's not that I'm not well informed, but you haven't experienced a lot of failures, and you haven't been out and about. So you're confident and optimistic that it can be done because you don't know what else could go wrong. Yeah, so that's what keeps me going. And when I started, all I wanted to do was to just fulfill my passion, because I enjoy experimenting with food. Even if you ask me to make dinner with whatever, I just try to make something unique. So at first, that was my goal. But when I realized the potential in me and the potential in the business that I founded through the programs I went through, I was the startup business winner for a program called Youth Entrepreneurs Program in 2019. And I was awarded about 11,000 Rand. And so when all the judges were like, oh, you are the startup business winner, I then realized, you know what, I can do more than what I thought of just being a passion-driven experimenter. I can actually be a passion-driven businesswoman. So through that, it's boosted my confidence and just getting feedback from the customers that, oh, your product is great. And the shops that I supply at the very beginning, we're supplying like just a little bit of this and that now and then. But now some of them order on a weekly basis. Wow. So I can see that the company is growing, it's impacting lives. So it scares me, but I have to believe this can make a difference in the world we live in.
And it is. And that famous saying that if it's not scary, it's not big enough. So clearly
enough, exactly.
Clearly this is big enough. So kudos to you on that. Okay, so as we wrap up, I think this is a very perfect note for us to wrap up about that. What advice would you give to somebody who's inspired by your story? Because I know I am, but for somebody else about going after what they believe in or their passions or etc. It doesn't only have to be entrepreneurship, but just in life generally.
I would say whatever you start, small business, but you start your business small. So whatever you want to pursue, if you've got that vision, the end game. Like I was telling you that I knew I was going to stand on a podium, I was going to influence people, but I didn't know how. So the journey, no matter what you face, how discouraging it can be, keep at it, keep the vision ahead of you, that you can make a difference. You are the best version of you. And someone somewhere is really waiting for the solution that you can bring. It's in research and business. They're waiting for you to create employment, to make a contribution to the national economy. I was just reading about how small to medium enterprises can actually contribute to 60% of all employment in all emerging economies. So imagine that, or even to GDP. So whatever idea that you have, it can significantly contribute to the larger or broader a view of things that we are all talking about. Yeah, so keep at it and also keep learning. There's always a chance for you to learn. Just grab that opportunity to learn, because the future does not belong to the learned. It keeps changing. So we have to keep learning. We have to keep up with the trend. So however you get the opportunity to learn and get new knowledge, new skills, a combination of skills.
Wow, what a great way to end off the note, and some wonderful advice that can be applied to business, to academia, to life, to whatever. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I am so inspired, and I wish you all of the best. I know that this is only the beginning for bigger and better things for you. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you.
Thank you very much, Anne, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this podcast. Yeah, we will definitely have that podium moment in the future.
Oh, yes. Like how you said that you have that vision, I also have my vision, and I'm glad that you are now part of that vision. So it's going to happen.
Yeah, we need each other.
Yes, definitely. And to everybody else who's tuned in, thank you so much for tuning to another episode of the Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. Until next time, goodbye.